interesting. Now, where does trigonometry find its use? This is all about heights and distance, is all about use of trigonometry. Okay, so let's say there is a horizontal level out here. Okay, and say for example, we have one of our building towers. Okay, this is one of the towers of our society, right? This is one of the towers of our society, and we want to find the height of this tower. Okay, we want to find the height of this tower, and we've got two friends. So what these two friends decide, we have learned now a bit of trigonometry. So what they do, they take a piece of string, and one of them goes to the rooftop and pegs a string out here, and another one, what he does, he pegs the string exactly on the ground out here. Okay, he's pegged the string on the ground out here, right? And crude measurement, okay, not that accurate sort of measurement. He takes his geometry box protector, and he suppose able to find out the value of this angle, which is say theta, right? Measuring the height of the tower is not easy for us, but something that is easy for us is to get to know the foot of the tower till the point at which he has pegged that string, and it should be absolutely tight without any, and say this length he has measured it, this length he can measure, and this is L. Now he will simply use trigonometry, and he says that, let's say the height of the tower is h, and he uses the formula of tan. He says tan of theta is equal to how much? H upon L. So the height of the building will be L tan theta. And if he's lucky and he makes say 60 degree, then he knows the value of theta is how much? Root 3. And with root 3, if you multiply this length, you get the height of the building without actually measuring it. So our study in this chapter will be all about these sort of scenarios. But before that, we need to have some understanding. Is this prelude understood by you? This is how Greeks and all used to calculate, many angles and heights as well as distances of enemy ships which are approaching. So let's understand few basics in order to understand this two problems accurately. And you should have little bit of diagram making capability. I don't expect you to make a tree or something, but do you know artist impression? The problem has to be understood by you. If you are able to construct the diagram, the whole trick is in making the diagram. Once you have made the diagram, the problem will have very base level trigonometry, some sine, cos. But of late, the problem that I see with children is making the diagram. And that is not because their drawing skills are bad. That is because they try to fit a formula to the problem. First, you have to understand the problem. Okay? Right? Okay. Now, say there is a viewer, a person who is viewing, right? When you view parallel to the horizontal, then this is known as your line of sight. This is known as your line of sight. The line of sight is always parallel with the horizontal, right? Right? Now you want to see, say suppose you want to see a bird which is perched on this tree. A bird which is perched on this tree. So what happens? Your line of sight now actually becomes, Hasana, when we want to see something which is at a higher level from us, won't our eyes go on top? When your line of sight moves above the horizontal, this is also line of sight, it forms an angle. Let's say this is an angle called alpha. Alpha will be known as my angle of elevation. Alpha is known as my angle of elevation. Have you understood? First, you should know what is line of sight. Line of sight is what you exactly see parallel to the horizontal. That is known as line of sight, straight view. If you are seeing anything for which you have to put up your eyes above, it's just like the muzzle of a tank. If the muzzle goes up, it's at an angle of elevation. Now imagine that this is something like a cliff, okay, at a cliff level, and there is something right at the bottom, okay, right at the bottom. We have got, say, some sort of a boat is out here, okay, and we are at a cliff, or say you are at a building top and now trying to look at somebody right down below. So what will happen to your vision now? Your vision will now go below the line of sight. Do you agree? It will go below the line of sight. And if I drop the horizontal once again, out here, right? This white line is parallel to this white line because these are all reference of the horizontal. Agreed? Then this angle beta is known as my angle of depression. Anna, person who suffers from depression always has a low, everything is low. Depression means looking, why are you so depressed, sad? So depression is, this is your angle. But if you try to use parallel lines and the law of alternate interior angles, don't you think this itself is beta? Yes. So next time we will not draw this as angle of depression. We will straight away draw this as our angle of depression. And while we are doing all these things, some more interesting things that are happening is that whether it's the tree or the boat, I can bring down one vertical like this, right? And I can make, if I call this as A, and I call this as B, and I call this as C, is it not a right angle triangle? Yes. Trigonometry is applicable. So somebody might ask me to find the height of the tree, or how far away am I from the tree? And similarly, if you try to see even this one, A, B, C, and if you make it D, then also it's a right angle triangle. ADE is a right angle triangle. Yes or no? And similarly, ABD is also a right angle triangle. In every problem, there will be a right angle triangle which you have to hunt from the story, construct it, mark your angles, and after that it's a cakewalk. But to reach to that cake, usually kids have a problem. Now let's revise once again. As I see straight to the horizontal parallel, it is called line of sight. Whenever I see something which is at a height, you know, elevation, the building elevation, the front, whenever you see your tower, as you're walking in front of it, you see the elevation of the building. So that's called angle of elevation. And whenever you are seeing anything below your level, like this, then it is called the angle of depression, because you're having a depression view, right? Therefore, your partner should always be, taller than you. In that case, you will always raise your head and talk. And when she talks to you, she will put her head down and talk, because it is angle of depression. Did you understand, Bakul? Makes sense, right? Okay, some more interesting, some scenarios that can happen in such sort of problems. Is this clear? Anyone has a question so far? So you'll have an angle of elevation, you will have an angle of depression, and in every problem, such right angle triangles will be there. Different scenarios will be there. We have to hunt them. Let us see some scenarios. Before even going to problem, some usual scenarios. Let us see. Shall we? Okay. If you make diagrams like this, then the problem becomes much more interesting. It looks good. So let's suppose what is going to happen in Hyderabad in a few days from now, because it has been extremely hot. So let's suppose that we have something like, betel nut, supari. So very tall date trees or betel nut trees. Okay, these are betel nut trees. Right, some betel nut trees. Maybe, or say bamboo trees, 1 minute. Because why I'm drawing this, the problem will be given in this order to you. There's some betel nut trees, date trees, right? On a stormy night, when the wind was blowing with a lot of velocity, this betel nut tree broke in between, right? And if it breaks, then obviously how will the breaking happen? It will break somewhere here, right? And the tree has fallen on the ground, right? They will tell you in the problem, they might give you that at what distance is it, at what distance has the tree broken off and fallen from its original root, right? And they might also say it is making an angle something like theta out here, and it broke off at some length h1. What was the original height of the tree? So all we have to do in this, we know this, or say this is not given, but this angle is given, right? Now, how many ways this question can be there? Suppose the angle, this is not given, the angle is given, then sine of this ratio, opposite by hypotenuse, will get the hypotenuse. What was the tree? The tree was h1 plus the hypotenuse. So that's how we can calculate the height of the tree. Another way they can give is, they'll not give you the angle. They'll just give you these two ratios. And if you use these two ratios in tan, right? Say suppose they tell you that it is at a distance of 1.732 and it has broken off at 1 meter. Oh, 1.732. This is nothing but root 3. That means tan of theta is making 1 upon root 3. That means theta must be equal to how much? 30 degree. And if you don't apply trigonometry, you just apply Pythagoras theorem, then also you get this. So ऐसे type के problems आ सकते हैं. This is one scenario. Did you understand? A tree, अतः समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं? A tree broke off, but you have to understand how to make the diagrams, right? Let's see one more scenario. Pythagoras only you can use if these two are given, but they will be very clever, they won't give you this. So because the chapter is of trigonometry, so you will use this. Here tan theta is of no use to you. Here what is of use to us? Sin theta is of use to us. But they may also ask, at what distance did the tip of the tree fall on the road from the foot of the tree? Is this understood now? Another one question shall we see? Okay. A little bit more complicated. Shreya, did you understand? Others there? Very easy. The only thing you need to do here is have some artist mindset and try to construct the scenario. Let's see one more. Okay. Another scenario might be something like this, that there is a cliff, right? Now, once you have a cliff, there will be some level at which there is water. There's water at this level. Understood? And here there is some Bhikkhu Bholaram sitting out here. Okay, somebody is sitting out here. Bholaram sitting out here, right? And the weather is very nice, bright sunny day, as they say. And on a bright sunny day, Bholaram is able to view a cluster of clouds. Understood? Obviously, this cluster of cloud will also have an impression. इसका एक impression भी तो बनेगा. This is water. Where will the impression be formed? Can you just tell me? Where will the impression be formed? You are not exactly studying grade 8 optics. The water will serve as plane mirror. Object distance will be equal to image distance. Yeah. So my diagram is not that accurate. So what do? I just take this cloud, darling, just come a little bit below. Yeah, this is how our Bhikkhu fellow will, then he will not have an elevation. Yeah. So, and clone this. So he will see the impression out here, right? And they will say, question may be, what is the height of the cloud from the sea level, or how much below is the impression and all? Now, how to break our problem? Very easy. So what we will do, since our friend is here, we will always have a line of sight of this friend. This is the line of sight, right? Which is parallel to the water level. Let me change the color. नहीं तो आप बोलोगे, sir, tsunami आ गया क्या? पानी ऊपर आ गया. So this is his line of sight, right? Okay, hey Ali, try to join on time, beta. This is your line of sight. And this is his. See, already you have missed first 10 minutes. You are like, there are some people, you know, Hyderabad is famous for that. Have you gone for watching movies in Hyderabad? Even there are people who enter the theater after 1 hour. This time I saw Durandar 2, which is in like in chapters, chapter 1, chapter 2. One chapter over, after that also one couple is entering. Why do you enter? पूछने का मतलब क्या है? आधा story तो जा चुका है. So for him also, one he has missed already. And I feel very disturbed at that time that now this child is sitting and just, for him it is Mandarin class now. Even if I take 19 chocolate, 太阳气，扩大心率，images, 鸟人茶，man no kitchen pan茶，太空气茶。Have you understood? No. So if you join late, it's like this. Okay. So there will be some angle theta, which is the angle of elevation. Right? Very good. After that, they might also tell you in this problem that at what height he is sitting. This height they may give you. This height they may give you. So what you will find out, your trigonometry will actually give you what is this height h1 till here. Agreed. And this height h is already given to you. So you will be able to say at what level the cloud is. Similarly, our Bolaram will also make one angle of depression here. Do you agree? And from this level to this level, we can again make a right angle triangle. And this angle of depression will also be specified to us. Say this is also specified to us as something called beta. So once we know beta and once we know this distance, what is this distance will be available from the previous problem d, you will also get to know what is this height h dash. From h dash, if you take out h, you get at what depth the cloud is. Or means these, after that the problem becomes very easy. The thing is whether you are able to construct the diagram or not. There's nothing, this is, I'm just making a hypothetical problem where a man is sitting on a cliff. Cliff's height is given to me. The man views a cloud. Cloud's angle of elevation is given to me. Cliff's height is given. And say with this angle of elevation, one thing, or say the distance of the cliff or some distance, this distance or the other distance will be given, so that you can make some trigonometric ratio and you can find out this value. And if you add this value with the height of the cliff, you can say at what height the cloud is. If you know at what height the cloud is, you also know at what height the image is, because object distance is equal to image distance. In such a scenario, since you already know this and this whole part, you know the angle, you will be able to find this also. Such sort of different combinations may come out. Problem to problem, they will differ. My job is to make you understand that how the problems will be. This can also be one problem. एक और problem देखते हैं, ठीक है? One more sort of problem. We'll do all this, don't worry. Another type of problem can be, it is like big tower buildings, big towers. So let's say we have a tower, right? On top of this tower, we have a flag mast. We have a flag mast where a flag has been kept. Where a flag has been kept. Did you understand? Here the problem is different. Here the problem can be of many types. So person's height is taken as negligible. Say this is a person, it's a very high building, Burj Khalifa type. Person will actually make one angle of elevation right to the height. And there will be one more angle which can go to the mast. Which angle will be more? The mast will be more. The taller the thing, the more like this you watch. The angle is more. Right? So let me just name it. Let me say this is A, this is B, this is C, this is D. So once I can have a right angle triangle ABD, once I can have ACD also. If I do ABD, I get the whole height. If I do ACD, I get the tower height. So I can find the mast height. This is very easy. But let us make this problem little bit more complicated. Okay. This you understood? Very easy. Let's make this problem little bit complicated now. The complication is, now The building does not have any mast, right? The building does not have any mast. There is a person out here, and the person is, let's say they tell you that the person is at a distance of some distance, say L, from the foot of the tower. From the foot of the tower. What happened, Bakul? You're not feeling well? Okay. No, I've somehow felt that you're not feeling good. Okay. So if you don't feel good, beta, don't exaggerate. Huh? You can go home. Don't worry at all. Right. So from the foot of, there's only the tower. The person now observes this particular tower. Okay. And let's say we are given the length, how much far off he is. Right. Obviously, he will be making some angle theta out here. This problem can be that after walking a distance d towards the tower, that means now the person has moved from here to here, and this distance is how much? D. So how far is he off from the tower now? L minus D. He will create another angle of elevation. Now the trick they will do with you is, they will, in problems they will say, if the angles are 30 degree and 60 degree, now it starts, 30 kaun sa hoga 60? The closer you go, the more like this you will observe. So the bigger angle in this diagram, beta will always be greater than theta. These common sense you have to apply. Otherwise, your whole problem will go for a toss. Have you understood? This can be one sort of problem. This problem can be, right? Don't try to draw, just understand now. We'll do a lot of problems. Now let's change scenario. ठीक है? Shall we change scenario? क्या आते हैं समझ में नहीं आया? हाँ, कैसे ऐसा अजीब तरह से देखते रहते हो? तो facial expression एकदम चले. Now let's make this little bit more complicated. Now they may say, it's like this. So instead of the person, this is say a kingdom, Troy. Okay. So there is an enemy boat which is traveling at uniform speed. Uniform speed means acceleration is 0. That means I can go back to grade 6 and use the formula distance equal to speed into time. Otherwise, we always know S is equal to ut plus half at square. Uniform speed means A is 0. So this component gone. You are left with distance equal to speed into time. This boat is traveling with a speed of v meters per second. And right now, the soldier at the cliff is seeing that it is making an angle of depression. What will be the angle of depression now for the soldiers? Children, don't get complicated, don't get confused. The soldier's line of sight is this. Agreed or not? So the soldier's angle of depression will be theta, which is same as theta. We do not draw the top one, we always draw the bottom one only. So when we will draw this diagram, we will draw it in this manner. We'll draw it in this manner. The soldier's angle of depression right now is theta 1, right? And the boat is moving at v meters per second. Now he's soldier now, Maharaj, and Maharaj. And after some time, say after a time interval of t seconds or t minutes, what will happen? The boat will not go away. They have come for attack. It will move forward. So the boat has now taken its position out here. At that time, Maharaj is making another angle of depression, theta 2. You should know here that theta 2 will be greater than theta 1, right? And in this time interval, the distance that this boat has covered is v into t. Distance equal to speed into time. They will just disguise this problem to you. Distance equal to speed. In how much more time will they attack the doors of the fort? In how much more time will they attack the doors of the fort. So you know this distance from the initial data, you know the height of your fort, you know the angle they are making, so you know the distance at which they are. Right from the first data, you itself know, Maharaj, Dushman itne dur pe hai, some distance D. And now they have, after T interval, the boat is traveling, right? So how much is this one? D minus B into T. You know the distance, you know the speed. Can you not calculate the time? Time is equal to distance upon speed. Maharaj, in another 20 minutes, they are going to hit our head. So he will say, archers, take your position. Even in higher US problems, they will say, archers have been lined here. But you know what does archers do? Archers will never hit like this. They will always shoot it into up. That in grade 11 physics you'll study, that when you shoot something at 45 degree, your range is the maximum. This is the maximum that you can go. Therefore, if a person is puking and he pukes at 45 degree, and if you are within the horizontal range, his puke will fall on you. I always give dirty examples. Understood? The Singapore Merlion dekha na? So if you make that at 45 degree, the range is maximum. So always you will see in those war movies, archers, they'll take their arrows, they never shoot at the enemy. 45 degree. And then it will go up and then come down with full potentialization. But if he shoots before the range, they'll say the archer's horizontal range is this much. This can be converted into a projectile problem in physics in grade 11. The archer's range is this much. Calculate the time at which the archer should load his bow. कितना interesting है physics. उससे पहले मारोगे तो पानी में गिरेगा. You won't hit them. Interesting. And that's what we do in a cannon or in a firing range. When a fighter aircraft is trying to bomb, at that time the anti-aircraft guns will fire at the aircraft. So if you want precision shoot, then the aircraft should fall below. But if you fall below, you are within the firing range of the enemy. So the fighter aircraft has to lift immediately without a signature. So that's why they say it's not the aircraft that wins, it's the pilot that wins the combat. It's not the machines that win you war, it's the men behind the machine. So all these are simple calculations which people do even in warfare. At what range you are left with less ammunition. If you see old movies of 70s and 80s, you will see every time the fighter aircraft is firing, the rounds will come down. 30 rounds, 20 rounds. He doesn't have any more bullets. So don't shoot unnecessarily. Come within range and then fire. ऐसे problems हो सकते हैं. Another one problem. Interesting. Let's see one more. All of you understood this type of problem? So let's see one more type of problem which can be there. This problem is a glucon D problem. What problem? Glucon D. On a scorching sunny day, the sun is shining bright, right? And then what will happen is that let's have a building or a tower. So let's have a tower out here. This tower will be casting a shadow. Now the sun is quite almost vertical, but still slant, not that slant itself, right? So it will be casting a shadow. The shadow casting, these diagrams get very interesting and you have to understand how the shadow will form. So you might get a shadow here, which will be, this much you are blocking. So this will be the shadow of the building, okay? So let's say this will be the shadow length, this much length. Say the length of the shadow will be, this much will be the length of the shadow. As the sun changes its position and goes more down, the shadow length will increase further. And they will say the distance that the sun has shifted is so much. Based on this angle, you will get this angle. And you have to calculate what is the height of the building. ऐसे type problems भी आते हैं. Shall we take up problems now one by one? Many scenarios. First, we'll see some easy problems, and then we will go for complicated. Children, be very careful. Tan 60, tan 30, tan 45. These should be in your lips. Tan 30, 1 by root 3. Tan 60, root 3. Tan 60, bigger angle, bigger value, root 3. Tan 30, smaller angle, smaller value, 1 by root 3. Tan 45, isosceles triangle, so it will make it 1. Let's take down some problems now. Okay. Okay, let's take down problems. And children, here you will have a lot of decimal calculations, so don't break your head on that. If the height of a building is 60 root 3, nobody will be interested to see that, no, Ananya did 60 into 1.732, then she went up to 2 decimals. Our job is not to check your calculation skills. Our job is to check whether you know how this problem has to be approached. So even if you leave it in what you call degrees, it doesn't matter. Okay. So a simple problem. I may not have time to write the entire question. So the question is all about, I'm writing it in short form. There is a kite which is flying. There is a kite which is flying. Okay. All of you will try to make the diagram. Okay. And this kite is attached to a thread. This kite has got a thread. There is a thread. And the thread is 165 meters long. Thread kitna hai? 165 meters long. And this thread makes 30-degree angle with ground. Makes 30-degree angle with ground. Find the height of the kite. We need to find the height of the kite. Wait. Assuming there is no slack in thread. Did you understand what is the meaning of slack in thread? Tight नहीं होगा तो hypotenuse form नहीं होगा. Right? So, if we want to artistically draw this diagram, we will make a ground level and then we need to make some lovely kite. So, let's make some kite. You know how to make a kite? So, let's make one kite. So, we have got a kite. And this kite is making an angle of how much? 30-degree with the ground. So, this angle is how much? 30-degree. And the string is absolutely tight. There is no slack. And the string length is how much, beta? 165 meters. All they have asked you, find the height of the kite. And you give the data. Abasa, I will not go further. I think you know now how to solve. Shreya, will you be able to solve this now? No, not this simple. We just need this height. This height. So first thing, what sort of a ratio we should use? Sine. Opposite by hypotenuse. Opposite by hypotenuse. So in this, I'm not even writing the steps. If I do a sine of 30, what should I get? Tell me, children. I should get h upon 165. Do you agree or not? So what is the value of h? 165 sine 30, and sine 30 is half. 160's half is 80. 5's half is 2.5. So this is at 82.5 meters. The kite is flying. Samjhing or not? Did this go as overhead transmission? This is the easiest, and your good luck will be very good if you get a problem like this. Nobody will give you. ऐसा नहीं कि you have to draw the kite. You may not draw the kite also. If you are not good at drawing, you just say, let the position of the kite be C. At a vertical height H from the ground level AB. Right? Give an angle. So if you want to do this problem in proper manner, okay, let's do this problem in proper manner. So you have to first give your nomenclature, solution, give the nomenclature, let C represent kite's position above ground, right? H represent height of the kite. Then AC represent string length without slack. Agreed? And then angle cab angle made by kite with ground level, GL, ground level. Now you write, what do you have to find? To find many children just write a H. What is H? Sir, the height of my father-in-law. No. Hey, darling, these problems don't come in 2 marks. Yeah, these come in at least 4 marks, 5 marks. Now, what is your problem to write? No. Asking means there is something, right? Like, you know, when the traffic police strengthens the traffic rule, the auto wallahs always agitate. We don't agitate. We don't have any fear. They've written on red light, jumping, they will fine. What is my fear? I never jump. You jump. That's why you are opposing that government decision. There will be dharnas in India. Hey, traffic fine, they have increased to 2000. For what? Red jumping. अपन jump ही नहीं करते हैं. काय को डरने का? Must be you're jumping. That's why you're agitating. I am habituated to writing this. You don't like writing this. That's why you're asking the question. Yes or no? Bus. To find H. So our solution is, consider right angle triangle, what? ABC, and you say sine of A is equal to H upon, or H, or you can write BC upon AC, and rest you know how to proceed. And do not leave your answer as H equal to 82.5. H is your assumption. You should leave the answer as the height of the kite above the ground is 82.5. Do we understand this problem? Yeah, shall we take one more? Great. I like you guys. Okay, let's see. In some problems, they will tell you, take root 3 equal to 1.732. That means they expect the answer not to be in an irrational form, but to be in decimal form. Shall we take one more problem? Okay. One more. It says, a tower is 50 meters high. We have a tower, and the tower is 50 meters high. You understand? Okay, now next line I'm writing. I'll see how you break this English sentence. Its shadow is X meters shorter when the sun's altitude is 45 degree than when it is 30 degree. Find X. Now this is tricky. Okay, just copy down the data, then we'll see how to draw this diagram. Well, break the question into your mother tongue. If it is Mandarin, break it into your Mandarin mother tongue. There is a tower whose height is given to us, right? Does the height of the tower change anytime during the day? No. What can only change? The shadow of the tower. Shadow. Now see. देखो अनन्या, इसे इतना करने की जरूरत नहीं है. देखो. Have a common sense, which is not common. Okay. This is ground level. Right? Tower was there yesterday also. Tower is today also. And tower will be there tomorrow also. So time to draw the tower. So let's make the tower. This is the tower. The tower has some shadow. Let's read the question. Wait. The tower shadow is X meters shorter when the sun is at a higher altitude. Now think, morning when you go out for a walk, do you see a longer shadow or a shorter shadow? No. Longer. Slowly by the day, the shadow will shorten, and it will become smallest at 12 noon when the sun is right on your head, and that Glucon-D person drinking your brain juice. And then after again 1 o'clock onwards, if you see cricket matches during the day, again the shadow will become longer. At sunset, it will become longer. There are two datas out here, 30 degree, 45 degree. So it is obviously understood that when it will make 45 degree, the shadow will be smaller, and when it will be 30 degree, the shadow will be longer. Let us assume sun has not changed its position only. Then definitely this tower has got a shadow. Do you agree or not? So let us make one shadow of this tower. This is the shadow of the tower. The blue line is the shadow of the tower. Agreed? This is the shadow when the sun is at 30 degree, right? That means somewhere right behind the tower the sun is. You need not draw the sun. Sun's ray, yeah, the sun's ray is coming, and the sun's ray is now making an angle of how much? 30 degree. Sun is right now at this position. Do you agree? The sun moves ahead. So the ray will now come in this manner. Common sense. Do you need the sun? If you still need the sun and you're unhappy, my dear children, I can make the sun for you. I don't mind. Right? Okay. Let's look at the sun. So we have our lovely little sun out here. Sun is smiling at you. Right? Now the sun has moved more on top, and it's creating an angle of how much? It's creating an angle of 45 degree. So your sun has now actually moved to this position, right? This was how much? 30 degree. The building has a height h which does not change. This is how much? 45 degree. But some more data is given. Read. Its shadow is x meters shorter. Its shadow is x meters shorter. Becomes short by x. That means what is x out here in this diagram? This is A, this is B, this is C, this is D. What is x in this diagram? CD. CD is x in this diagram. My shadow was dB. Now my shadow has reduced by x and has become how much? BC. So this one is x. They are asking me find the value of x. So let us do our scribble job first. Okay, so I can say if you take tan of 30, don't solve it. Tan 30 will give me h upon dB. Do you agree? So h is equal to dB tan 30. Agreed? Keep this as a question 1. A question 1. Now look at the other triangle. Let's take tan 45. What is tan 45 equal to? H by dB minus x. Do you agree? Right? That means h is equal to dB minus x tan 45. This is equation 2. Both left hands are same. Can I equate the right hands? Yes. If you start equating the right hands, then you can automatically calculate the value of x. Right? Tower height is 50 meter. But in this case, you can first actually find out the value of dB since the height of the tower is given. So from this data, we can also calculate what is dB. Yes or no? dB is equal to h by tan 30. Agreed? So you know dB. Now you equate these two. dB tan 30 should be equal to dB minus x tan 45. And whenever tan 45 comes, just dance like this because tan 45 is 1. Tan 45 is 1. Bas, ab zara check karo. Do you know the value of dB? Yes, you already found it from here. H is given to you, right? H is 50. H is 50 given to you. Right? You know dB. You know tan 30? Sir, it is 1 by root 3. So you know this also. You know dB? Yes, you know dB. You know tan 45? Sir, it is 1. Can you not find out what is x? If you cannot, you can open the window and... No. Just freshen up and get some fresh air and come back to class. वो word मत बोलो और that haunts me. He was also my student only. Agreed? Have you understood the beauty of these problems? It is all about understanding the scenario, drawing the diagram and making it. Ali, Anurag, Shreya, Ishita, Aditi, and Amish, tell me, dear, is there any problem in anyone understanding it? Which one? This problem, can I repeat once again?
Yes, sir.
Okay, right, very good. So don't look at right side, just look at the question. I have a tower which is 50-meter height. I have a tower which is 50-meter height. Clear? The tower will always cast shadow on the ground. Do you agree or not? Don't read the question, just listen to me. The tower is always going to cast shadow on the ground. Agreed? The shadows will be very longer in the morning. Slowly the shadows will shorten by the noon, and then it will become almost, at the noon we don't get any shadow. Then again the shadow will be becoming longer slowly, but on the opposite side, because the sun is moving on your head from this side to that side. Is this natural phenomenon understood by you or not? Great. So it says, as the sun keeps rising, the sun keeps on taking a higher altitude. Do you agree or not? The more higher the sun is, the shorter will be our shadow length. Yes or no? Yes. At afternoon, the sun comes right on top. So it says that there are two different angles that is shadows are making. That means there are two different positions of the day when once the tower is casting a shadow which is shown by the blue line, and once, where's the pen stylus gone? Hey, where did I keep the stylus? Oh, here. Sorry. And once during the day, the tower is casting a shadow which is only this much long. Have you understood this? It is obviously understood that the longer will be when the sun will be at a lower altitude, the shorter will be when it will be at a higher altitude. Sun is actually making angle 45 degree and 30 degree. Now you will ask, sir, you are never showing that sun is making that angle. I will say, yes, my child, sun itself is making the angle. You draw some horizontals out here, and you draw one horizontal out here. Agreed? Tell me, dear, what is the value of this angle? The value of this angle will be 30 degree. The value of this angle will be 45 degree based on parallel lines and transversal. Yes or no? Yes. But we don't draw that. That complicates the diagram. So I'm removing it again, okay? Just for your understanding, I had drawn. Okay. So now there are two angles that the sun is making, and during this, the shadow length when it is at 45 is actually smaller by x meters. The 45, 1 minute. The 45 degree shadow is smaller by x meters. I was this much. I have become small. I became small by how much? X. Not that my shadow length is x. I got reduced by x. समझ में आया? Right? See, Shreya, it is like this. This is me. My height is how much? H. Suddenly I became a dwarf. My new height is not told to me. They are saying that my height got reduced by x. My height got reduced by x. So what is my new height? H minus x. You understood? That's the same thing. Now they are asking me, find the value of this x. So first what I do, I take the ratio of the 30 degree angle. So which is h by db. Do I know the value of h? Yes, 50. Do I know this value? Yes. Can I calculate what is db? I have calculated db. Fine. Then I take the smaller triangle and I take the value of tan 45. In fact, you need not go this much. Since you already know dB, your problem stops here itself. You need not go. I was assuming that we don't know h. But since you know h, your problem stops here itself. What do you have to find out? X. Tan 45 is how much? 1. So this becomes dB minus x is equal to h. Do you know the value of h? Yes, 50. Do you know dB? Yes, you just found it out. So x is found out. इतना जाने की जरूरत ही नहीं है. But say suppose in complicated problems they don't give you H also, then maybe we have to go this way. These are all scenarios. I did not know that H is given initially when I was doing the problem. Still, if you don't understand, you can still ask me. Don't hesitate. If you hesitate, you will be actually doing a wrong thing. Please ask. And in one day, we won't be able to do. We will do 2 more classes on this. Provided you also do some problems at home. At least the problems that are there in NCERT. Any questions here on this problem? Don't try to understand this. This right now, maybe you are fatigued out or something. This, if you see at a cold brain also, you will understand. This is not the problem. Problem is this. Understand how I drew the figure from that question. That is more important. This is, you will understand easily just by making some triangles. The crux is not here. The crux is literature, text to pictorial. Pictorial will not be given to you. And if they give it to you, they will give you as a part of case study. And you know CBSE case studies. The case has no relation with the problem. Absolutely no relation. This time there was a problem. Some bridge in London opens up like this when ships go. The question has no relation to that. No relation.
But why is it written sun's altitude? Isn't like altitude?
Which one? The sun's altitude. When the sun's altitude is at 45 degree. The altitude is at 45 degree. Array altitude from the shadow point is at 45 degree. Sun's altitude. Sun's altitude will be here. Sun's altitude will be here. It can't be here only. The sun is moving. Here. Yeah. Have you understood or not? एक और ट्राई करें. These are long problems, okay? Long problems, but let's try. 2 pillars on either side of a road. Now see, road. Now how to let's just think, okay? It says 2 pillars either side of a road. Two pillars on either side of a road, which is 100-meter wide. The road is 100-meter wide. At a point on the road between the pillars,
Sir,
yes,
so does between mean exactly in the middle? Or can be any point?
any point. That you will understand once the angles are specified. At a point on the road between the pillars, angle of elevation of top of pillars are 60 and 30. Find height of each pillar, okay, each pillar, and the position of the point on the road. Again, this is our question. Now, how to construct these type of diagrams? It says 2 pillars are on either side of a road, and the road width is how much? 100. So try and understand how this diagram will be. Okay, so we have a road width. How much is the road width? 100. And now you will say, sir, from which angle are you seeing this road? Well, the road is something like this. This is the road. ये road ऐसे जा रहा है. Have you understood? And this is the road width. How much is the road width? 100 meters. So let's say the road width is 100 meters, which is AB. There are two pillars on either side of the road, but they have said find the height of each pillar, which means it is understood that the heights of the pillars are not same. So I will deliberately make one pillar say of this length, and I'll make one pillar of this much length, and I'll increase the height of another pillar by this much, right? And let me call my pillars as pillar MA, and pillar NB. Further, it says, at a point on the road between the pillars, that point may be anywhere, the angle of elevation of the pillars are 60 degree and 30 degree. Understood? One is 60 degree and one is 30 degree. Now that depends. It depends. Where the point? No, that would have been if the pillars would have been of equal length, then the 30 degree one will be far off from the midpoint, 60 degree will be the near one. Here we will have to make it arbitrary. We don't know because the two pillars are of different heights. So we have two different angles. So let's say this is the point and these are the two angles, right, children? And I am making this angle as 60 degree. And if the calculation is correct, it will automatically come out correct. Let this be pillar, this is H1, and let this be pillar be H2, and this is how much? 30 degree. What is the overall distance? 100. Very easy. You have to find out H1, H2, as well as this position X. X is at what position? Right? So let's find out. Let's take this value as how much? Let's take this value as, this is X we have taken. So let this take this value as L. L. Agreed? Take tan of 60. Let me change my color. Okay, let's take tan 60. If you take tan 60, tell me what is the value you're going to get? H upon L. H upon L. Do you know H1? H1 upon L. Do you know H1? No, you don't know. But you will definitely get the value of L, which is equal to H1 by tan 60. Agreed? Then we take the value of tan 30. Tan 30 will be what? How much? Tell me. Not 1 by root 3. See from this side. By 100 minus L. Yes or no? Can we bring this to expression? Now, how to solve this problem further? You are given H1, you are given H2, you don't know even L. Now you have to. So what do you do here? You have to equate. One thing is common in both the equation, which is L. Equate the two equations in terms of L, then you will get the equations in terms of H1, H2, but still there are two unknowns. Two pillars on either side of a road, 100 meter wide. Angle of elevation of the top of the pillars are 60 degree, 30 degree. Find the height of each of the pillar. Yeah.
The value of LS.
Oh, no. For the two pillars, the question is, my mistake on the question, children. Otherwise, you can't solve. Two pillars of equal height they have given. So our diagram just gets changed a bit. I'm very sorry. They are equal heights, okay? So our diagram gets changed. So our diagram will be, now our job is easy. So you have one pillar, and Vakul, it will now answer your query properly. The two pillars are of equal height. So getting the angles will be very easy. Now you know which will be 60 and which will be 30. Tell me which will be 60. This will be 60. This is L. This is how much? 100 minus L. This is how much? 30. This is H. This is H. So just make some small changes out here. And make a small change here. Okay, let's write them once again. Not an issue. We'll write them once again. Now our job is easy. So we'll write tan 60 is equal to h by L. So what is the value of h from here? L tan 60. Right? Right. Now let's take the next one. Tan 30 is equal to how much? H by 100 minus L. So what is the value of h? 100 minus L tan 30. Now look at this equation and this equation. The left hand sides are equal. So the right sides must be equal. So how do you do it? L tan 60 is equal to 100 minus L tan 30. Agree, children? This equation, if we solve, we get the value of L. So one question is answered. What is the position of the point? We have answered. The point is at a distance of L. Whatever the value of L comes, you can write that.
Is equal to 20.
Right? So L tan 60, this is minus L. So how to solve this? In order to solve this, we can solve it in this manner. Take L common, then it becomes tan 60 plus tan 30. See, you have understood this or not, just see. Is equal to 100 tan 30. Just check this equation. Look here. L tan 60 minus L tan 30. So minus comes this side, becomes plus L 30. L taken common, tan 60 plus tan 30. Did you understand? या तोड़ के दिखाऊं? तो तोड़ के दिखाना है? नहीं, कैसा चेहरा बनाया करेला जैसा? राघव का चेहरा देखो. L tan 60 is equal to your practice maths less. That's why आप लोगों का ऐसा होता है. Minus L tan 30. This is understood? Clear? Now bring tan 30 this side. L tan 60 plus L tan 30 is equal to 100 tan 30. Now take L common. Tan 60 plus tan 30 is equal to 100 tan 30. Therefore, L's value is how much? 100 tan 30 divided by tan 60 plus tan 30. That's it. This is the value of L. Right? So one question we have already answered. And next question is, what is the tower height? The tower height, you just put the value of L here. Whatever value of L you have calculated, that you just put here. Then you get the tower's height. If I am at your place, after going home, if it permits, it's all half day today, after having dinner, out of 4 problems, I will at least put my best music on Dhurandhar 2 reel playlist, and I will do 2-3 problems at night. You all have air conditioners in your room. Let the air conditioner be on. Play your lovely music, and first try to do the scribble mode. The problem is you will not do it today. You will keep it pending, and then it will go. You may say, sir did not upload. Sir will upload the class notes. By the time you reach home, the class notes will be there. Maybe the video I'm unable to upload because I have a class after you also. Video may come tomorrow. But based on the class note, am I able to solve at least 2 problems? I'm not saying you to do any textbook or all. That's called learning. आपको अलग मजा आएगा.